Now, I mentioned I'm treading upon dangerous ground. I am in between young generation pundit and old generation pundit. It's not a nice position to be in. Some of the younger ones see you as an old man, and the older ones see you as a young boy. Who will have confidence in you? And I'm trying to bridge a gap between the young and the old. Now, if you realize what I am doing here, I'm making my first appeal to the pundits. You can say what you want as devotees. Read that book, say the book is real good and everything else. But when somebody dies and your pundit comes and he tells you, do that, you can't tell him no. Or you wouldn't tell him no. Now, the question can be asked, why didn't I approach the pundits first? And get acknowledgement from them. Swaha pundits agreed. We worked together. But it's common knowledge that there is division. And even if something is right, because of so-called organization, men may object. Not because they believe in the objection, but because of pressures imposed upon them. And I want to state that God's grace is infinite. Swaha is here, Swaha is independent, and I have that independence, God's grace, to take these steps that I am taking. Otherwise, it would not have happened. It would not have happened. There is a divine plan for Hinduism, and we are all part of that plan. We are not the makers of the plan. We are all pawns, part of that plan. The divine grace is there. So what I'm asking here is that all pundits, and I've spoken to some off records, and many of the things that are in the book, they agree with, but they dare not implement it. And they dare not implement it. And what is very sad, a lot will criticize behind my back. They will use different media to criticize and condemn the book. Rather than have open discussion, let's call for discussion, dialogue. Let us reason. And I want to put it to you, as has been said whole evening, I am not a pundit that has appeared overnight. Next year will be 50 years of actual practice in the field of panditai. My first puja I did when I was 17. A levels. I discussed with my father, the late Shankaracharya, many of the things that we spoke about. As a senior pandit, he agreed that a lot of these things don't make too much sense, we should change. But he couldn't change. He could not have done it because the people he dealt with, they were caught up in that psychological warp, that time warp, and they had to maintain. But maybe through his blessings, grace, inspiration, his offspring is taking that step. So I want to make an appeal to all, especially the pundits. We are trying to empower our people, not use them and abuse them. Many years ago, you wouldn't know this, as a young pundit. A senior pundit whose name I cannot call, but he's no longer in the vision of the living. He said to me, Hardeo, why are you trying to educate people, boy? Why don't keep them in the dark and ride them like donkey? I left the next day, because I couldn't leave the same day. It was night time. I left the next day, because I don't believe in that. So you see, in the situation we are in, we try to empower people, and sometimes the very same people are used as pawns against us. But I am still saying that our people need to be empowered. We have had plenty experiences, so too many others, of death and what occurs when someone dies, and the pressures the families are being put under. Now, I have stated quite emphatically in the book, when somebody dies, their karma takes them where they go. And I stand firmly on that. If it is how much pinda I offer, then I draw your mind to Bhagavad Mahapuran. When Dhundhukari died, Gaukaran did Srar Karam in Gaya, where it is said, one Srar Karam liberates the soul. He did Srar Karam in Gayaji. He did in all the other holy places. When he went back to his paternal, the paternal home, Dhundhukari was there, as Bhagavad tells us, in spirit form. And when Gaukaran asked, Bhai, I did Srar Karam in Gaya. Dhunukari said, Bhai, 1 star karam, 100 star karam can't save me. Why? Because of my karma. So if people think when somebody dies and you perform pinda, and liberate the soul, think again. I have precedent. I go back to scriptures. I am not going to knock my religion. I keep telling people why I said I am a pandit of 50 years. Because I am on your side. I am a Sanatanist. But one who is prepared to look at circumstances, go to scriptures and make some adjustments. When the Kevat washed the feet of Sri Ram, Ayodhya ka Ramayan Katha, he distributed that water to his family. What Ramayan says? By so doing, he liberated his ancestors. Then he took Sri Ram across the Ganga. He didn't do Pinda Karam, you know. What he did. If you go to Uttarakhand, again it's stated there, blessed is that lineage where there is an individual who is a devotee of God. The important point here being a devotee of God, not blind rituals. The life that we live, the values that we maintain. This is it. Now, I am not saying we shouldn't do Pinda and whatever else, but there's an overemphasis on these blind rituals without any deeper understanding. And if you look at Pinda, Yatha Pinda, Tatha Pinde. Yatha Pinda. And to say, as in the microcosm, so in the macrocosm. Yatha Pinde Tatha. You have it there. The pin represents a microcosm. Mr. Balraj, Christo mentioned about the soul going through 16 villages. If you realize in the book, I didn't talk anything about where the soul goes. You know why? I don't know. Anybody knows? We mentioned that there's psychology, there's ritual, whatever have you. A lot of what in scriptures have been written there to psychologically walk us through a certain period of disaster. And I maintain strongly, when the psyche changes, then the methodology can change. The philosophy does not change. So what is the philosophy? When somebody dies, their karmas take them where they go. We who are left behind, we perform certain rituals. These rituals are really comprised of 5 debts that we all need to repay. I have documented it there. Each of us has 5 debts that we need to repay. Debt to God, debt to the Pitris, debt to the Rishis, debt to society, and debt to the lower forms of creation. Pancha Yagya. No man is an island. When somebody dies, that person goes on, their karma takes them where they go. We perform antyeshti karma. Ant means end. Their life sojourn is completed. They have gone on. What we do afterwards is for us. We owe a debt of gratitude. And we have to repay this debt of gratitude through these various rituals. Why the rituals? Now, I will also mention something. I've had a case of where one of my godsons came from Canada. Father died. Well, you know, he got the house. So by the time funeral finished, they nearly had another funeral. He had to run back Canada. Called me, Guruji, what can I do? What can I do? Just one circumstance, and there are many such circumstances. Experience has taught me. Putting people under pressure. What could he do? Can he do Pinda every day? Can he do satsang every night? As all these things we carry out. Then I explained to him, I said, listen, we owe a debt of gratitude. You have to repay these 5 debts. Under your circumstances, what to do? Read Gita every day. This is Rishi Yagya. Rishi Yagya. What is Pitra Yagya? Offering Pinda only? Let me make the point quite clear to my understanding. There is an inner meaning to all this. You see Pinda Karam? The ancestors have passed on to us a body of practices, laws, principles that govern us. What we need to do is to hold on to these practices, maintain them, enhance them if possible, and pass them on to the next generation. That is the inner part of Pitra Karam. Not often Pinda, and next year you're gone and doing something totally contrary to what the ancestors believed in. You see, too much blind rituals. Now, what I am saying, the rituals need to be done. There's a reason for this. If a person cannot perform these rituals, you're by yourself, you can still carry out the acts. because you are repaying your debt of gratitude in these various areas. When we do the Pindakaram and so on, and I believe that we have to also adjust this, make some adaptations, all our rituals, from the ants to the atmosphere, benefit. And this is a compelling reason why the rituals have to be done. This is why I didn't say, stop the rituals. I didn't say that. I say when there are circumstances that do not allow for the rituals, if you understand the philosophy of it, you make adaptations to suit. But the philosophy tells us that if the rituals can be performed, I carry them out, albeit with some modifications. So there is a philosophy that underlies whatever we do. And this is the philosophy I want people to understand. Not blind fear, superstition, and whatever have you when somebody dies. When somebody dies, I feel sorry for people. When you look at them, many of them appear like if they're also dead. You have the circumstance, one person died, family coming from Australia. Took a week to reach here. And after 2 days funeral. And after that, 13 days Bhandara. After the third day, the father said to me, one son they have, Baba, we can't do this thing easier way. It has an easier way. Now think what is happening here, the strain that is being put upon people. I'm looking at circumstances, right? Environmental and otherwise, as was mentioned before. You see, devotees, Hinduism is flexible, Hinduism is adaptable. But the problem is that some of us want to hold on and believe that this is what Hinduism is all about. And I'm saying no. No. Hinduism is different. If you go to Canada, you cannot do the same things that we do in Trinidad. I learned that lesson the hard way. First time I went to New York to do puja, I like to see big fire blazing. Light up fire, Brahm, Agni, light fire. Next thing, fire brigade and police outside. Can't do it. The environment doesn't allow it. But Hinduism can survive anywhere if we are prepared to make these adaptations and adjustments. Now, the big problem is, many of our pundits say, the Garu Puran says so, and therefore you have to do it so. Now let me tell you all something. Garu Puran was written in the 6th century AD. And Garu Puran documented what was a practice at that point in time. Garu Puran didn't tell you have to do it so. Documented was the practices that took place at that point in time. Yeah? So you have all these practices that took place way back when. We must understand that there are Shrutis and Smitis. Shruti, you can't change. Smriti, time, place, and circumstances. My guru always taught me, Desh Kal Avasar, make adjustments, adaptations to suit. Do you all know that Manu Smriti says that a girl must marry a man 2.5 times her age? Manu Smriti said that. Sita Mata was 6 years, Sri Ram was 15. 6 and the 15, the last time I checked, when I taught maths, was 2.5. So Sri Ram was 2.5 times the age of Sita. Now imagine a girl, 24 years, getting married now. You get married to a dead man? Huh? It's more ways than one. So, sorry for that. So the question is, can we adopt those principles? So Smriti, you can change. Time, place, circumstances. But you see, where these books are concerned, I call for interpretation, not literal. You take everything literally. Garu Puran says so, so you have to do so. And I justify my point. People speak of Chitragupta. Who is Chitragupta? They tell you it's a man, I don't know, he's a Superman, who writes down everything that everybody does. And the last time I remembered, since last year, the 10 billionth person was born in the world, in India. So imagine this fellow had to write down business for more than 10 billion people. He's a most overworked man. Huh? Sorry for you. But is that really so? If you interpret Chitragupta, Chitra means picture, Gupta means secret. Chitragupta means a secret picture, the secret picture of your life. Who knows it? Only you. I. I know my secrets, you know yours. Chitragupta is a recording ability of your own mind. It's not something on the outside. Not a fellow living somewhere. Even in the age of modern technology, that is highly impractical to do. Write down everybody business 24 hours a day for 10 billion people. No. Chitragupta is a recording ability of your own mind. So you know everything about you. And when the time comes to expire, you are confronted by yourself. You can't hide. This is interpretation. Chitragupta. I take another point. Garu Puran tells you when a husband dies, the wife must commit sati. What is sati? She must burn herself. Burn herself. In India, that was done. Can you do that in Trinidad? Can you do that? Suicide or attempted suicide against the law. And if that was the case, a lot of you wouldn't be here today. Burn yourself already. But I am saying that you do it. You burn yourself. But what is this burning all about? You see, this is where the interpretation comes in. Not sit in a chitta, physical fire, and kill yourself, become Atmaghati, the gravest sin you can commit. But Chitragupta, you know what sati is? Interpretation, devotees. Sati represents the intellect. If you go to Sri Mahapuran, you have Sati, who taught lies, who told lies to Shiva, etc. And Lord Shiva discarded her. She was reborn as Parvati. All that indicates the intellect. There are three states of the intellect. Unenlightened intellect, relative intellect, and enlightened intellect. When someone dies, commit sati, what it means? Transform the intellect. You burn yourself in what fire? The fires of yoga. The fires of self-discipline. You maintain that form of discipline that is expected of you if you want to gain salvation in this lifetime of yours. So, in this context, I am saying people commit sati, meaning that they burn themselves in the fires of yoga, fires of self-discipline. If you go through Garu Puran, throughout, you can see and interpret like this. But unfortunately, too many of us stay in a comfort zone and take things literally, and we pontificate based upon that and say you can't interpret otherwise, which is what is causing so many problems and confusion in our society. Go to Ramayana, when Darshat died, Guru Vasishtha advised, put Darshat in a boat, fill it with oil, because you had to go and bring back Bhaya Bharat and Shatrughan from the maternal uncle's home. Now that is Ramayana. Are you going to follow Ramayana literally? When somebody died, put them in a boat of oil? What kind of oil? Coconut oil? Corn oil? Cornola? What? Devotees, what you have to understand is not the physical practice, but the concept. It's to preserve the body. And that preserves. All these funeral homes in Trinidad preserve in their own way. So the concept is carried out, not the same physical practice of Ramayana. And this is what I keep saying. The book says it. Way back in India, these are our scriptures written for India. The social conditioning, economic, environmental, all the factors totally different. And so the books have been written to suit that particular circumstance. You cannot take things from their wholesale and impose it here. And I go to Bhagavad Mahapuran. When Bhagavan Sri Krishna heard that they were going to do Indra Puja, Bhagavan Krishna asked his father, and where do I get my strength from? To challenge, to question here, Bhagavad Mahapuran. Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, Father, what are we doing here? Is Lokriti, universal practice? Is it Kulriti, our ancestral practice? Is it Gauriti, village practice? Or is it Naya Naya, something new? When Bhagavan Krishna was told that they were going to do Indra Puja, he asked these questions. Very, very instructive. And Mr. Krishna mentioned about the book in the form of questions and answers. Every one of our scriptures, you see questions are asked and answers are given. Every one, without exception. Even Ramayana, Parvati asked questions. Garuda asked questions, questions and answers. This is why the book chose that pattern. Because it's one of the best ways to learn, to clarify. So question and answers. Question and answers. So, if you follow the whole principle of the thing, question and answers, you ask the question, you get the answers. But the whole point is that the truth the philosophy doesn't change. Lokriti. We hold on to Lokriti. So once we understand the philosophy, we make changes to suit. We make adaptations to suit. And this is what we are proposing. Now, what I have done there, I have not mentioned anything about you have to do this. I am suggesting, and I say today, speak with your pundit. If your pundit is such and he decides, hey, you have to do everything 13 days and whatever else, go ahead. If your pundit analyzes your circumstances and realizes that because of various factors, you cannot perform all these things, I am proposing 5 days. 5 days. And if we don't take charge of this, then we're going to have different things happening. One may say, do everything in 1 day. One may say, 2 days. One barber for shaving, he said, you're bound to shave. Cut 4 pieces of hair from the 4 corners of your head. So he have a square head. Square head. You understand? Anything will obtain. Anything will obtain. And this is what is happening. And brings me to a point where a lot of us, as pundits, would not want to follow something like this because we want to be free to do what we feel to do. But I want to emphasize the point. That book is not written because I feel that. I've analyzed it. And that book has been long in coming. Quite some time. Quite some time. I hedged. People ask, Baba, when the book come in? Guruji, when the book come in? I thought it over. I spoke to my father. He didn't answer me. Right? I spoke to my guru. I spoke to Lord Shiva. Tell me what is the right thing to do. And I want to make the point quite clear. Pan Balaram, I am not doing this thing to create history. That is furthest from my mind. Maybe history is created, I don't know. I don't know. But that is not the intent behind this book. Not to create history. The sole intent is to alleviate the distresses of our people. So they can be empowered and do things in the right way. We live in a global village. The world is a global village. And you have other people to compare with. Muslims don't have these problems. Christians don't have these problems. When a Hindu dies, it's like the whole family dead. You can't go temple, you can't light diya, you can't do this, you can't build your house, you can't buy your car. You know that thing you cannot do, eh? It's like you dead too. Why is this? And all those things go back because of social setting. When long time somebody died in a family, everybody lived in the same house. Therefore, out of respect, they maintain those kind of principles. I have an uncle in Edmonton, back of God back. All right, I live in Trinidad. He died over there. I don't need money, he never know me. I chuti her. I chuti her. What is chuti her? This foolishness you keep hearing all the time. I keep saying, simple point, long time people died home. Before they could put the body on ice, the body begins to decompose. Germs created. That science I put there. Young children, vulnerable children, pregnant mothers, don't go near to dead body. Hug up dead body and cry. Why? Not because of spirit, because of germs. Because of germs. You're burning the bed the man sleep on. Burning the bed, burn the clothes. You go in the hospital, lie down in the bed, 100 and dead in the same bed and you even know. Huh? So why all this foolishness? Many years ago, I raised a question, why can't we have Ramayana with music when somebody dies? Somebody die, no offense meant, you get 5 old men, they do Ramayana, kill who live in. I ask, why can't we have Ramayana? Why you turn over your pictures? You see all these things people do, but you have to have, as I term it in inverted commas, a madman to challenge these things. And I am that madman. I have challenged it, but I have seen changes. Now when somebody dies, 30 nights Ramayana with music. It so happened now, man so smart, it has become quite commercial now. Some people charging $1,000 a night to do 13 nights, 13,000 Mahayag he do there. So there's a downside to that also. Yeah? People don't turn over pictures again anymore. You see, the understanding is coming. But we have to explain. And those of you who have been to young years, from 3 years I've been telling you all these things from quite some time. Showing you the reality of it, what we have been experiencing. And this is the result. We have this book here. I can go on and on, but I'm not here to sell the book. I'm just here to let you know the rationale. And I want to make it quite clear. It is my feeling that we need to look at all our rituals. We have Swaha belief in enlightened ritualism. No blind following. No blind following. We must understand why we do what we do. Empowering people. And Mr. Christo mentioned about other books. It is my thinking to do weddings. A lot of confusion there too. weddings, even pujas, to the philosophical approach to it. And maybe at some point in time, you'll have a better understanding. But until then, I would like to ask all our people and all our pundits, let's get together and take Hinduism forward in a constructive, positive sense. Otherwise, you're going to have serious problem. Let me end with one little something. You know, when it's Pitra Paksh time, they say somebody dies, you have to do Pitra Paksh Puja. So a young couple now got married. They didn't have what you need to know about death and after-death ceremonies. They didn't have that book then. They just heard, you have to do Pitra Paksh Puja. So they called the Baba, they talked to the Baba, said they did. Baba tell them, you can't do this puja in your house, you know. You have to do it in the Iceland. Good thing to have Iceland long time. So you have to repay a place. I hope you know what repay means. You repay a place, make it 9 by 9. You have to make it 9. 9 is a mystic number. 9 by 9. And get everything. When I come, we'll do the puja. So young Gopal, and we call the wife Gopalin. So both of them prepared for the puja and so on, waiting, watching. Baba come from behind. He pass in the back and he come. Jai Sitaram, Jai Sitaram. Pitra Paksh Puja. Time to do puja. The young fellow said, Baba, well, his wife insisted, You know, the ladies always insist that we have the rituals done. The fellas, you know, they always lackadaisical. So his wife prompted him. So he said, yes, I will do it. Otherwise, she will leave him. So he decided to do it. Now, what happened? Baba said, the Gopal said, Baba, I don't know anything about this kind of simidi, you know. You have to tell me. Baba said, no problem, boy. You do what I say and do what I do. That's the Baba way of explaining. Trouble, you know. So they sat down. Dulahin kavai head with orni and thing. When you have those rituals, you cover your head with orni. When you have puja, you're bongto. But when you have dead, must cover your head. Most people do that, right? Anyway, what happened there? The Dulahin sat and observed. Now, the first part is to get the man to wash his hand. So the Baba say, Hardeo. Gopal say, Hardeo. But the Baba tell him, say what I say and do what I do. Hardeo. Baba now comes to the nerves and so afraid. Yes, you say, Hardeo na. Hardeo na. Baba grab Gopal hand. Baba getting vexed now. Gopal grab Baba hand. Because Gopal cool. He's saying, this is Pitra Paksh Puja. Baba pull. Gopal pull. So Dulahin watching, he said, this is a different kind of Pitra Paksh Puja. My parents never do it so. In short, pulling and talking, fight start. Gopal very cool. Baba vex. Baba hit him a cuff. Well, Gopal is strong young man. If you see that cuff Baba get. One good blow. Well fight. They start to roll all over the Lipe place. By mistake, Baba hand fall outside the Lipe place. Gopal didn't say, what Baba doing puja outside the place? I'll deal with him. So she took a stick and connect him. Pull back your hand inside. Nobody could come out to the place and do the puja. Well, puja, you know. Somehow the Baba, and that's getting well blows, he realized, oh, shims, you know what, I tell him, man, do what I say and do what I do. So he let go. Gopal let go. Baba make the tracks. He gone home. Gopal go the one way. Gopal didn't say, wait, don't go yet. Hold on. Baba gone home. Pitra puja done. Now, Gopal say, you see, girl, you want me to do this stupidness? I give up this thing, I'm not doing this thing again. He said, don't get vexed, Gopal. You still have one part left again. You have to give the Baba Siddha. He said, Siddha, Pidha, Lidha, me good you want see. Gopalin po really took the Siddha, and he gone by the Baba, Baba, Sitaram. But the Baba in come out. You know who the Baba in is? Yeah. Baba in, when she watched from inside, she said, Gopalin. Baba say, Baba all head and bush up. He said, go on, me go in, you go. So Gopalin, Baba himself, like you committee ki bill na. And he come, what happened, Gopalin? Baba leave his Siddha. I bring Siddha. When he put the Siddha, he get what up, one blow on the back with the bill na. And she screamed and she ran back. She go on by Gopal and say, Gopal, you think the Pitra Paksh Puja hard? Give me Siddha harder. And then two of them say, they will change with religion, boy. This Hindu thing is too much stupidness. They will change. What do you think? Bole Shri Swaha Mata ki.
Om Jai Swaha Mata, Maya Jai Swaha Mata. Tum Agni ki Shakti, Tum Agni ki Shakti, Tum जी माता